Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. So I have always said the Valhalla Concept is a great live racer, and for my first video of 2022 I'm going to give you guys a live racing tune that I use for the Valhalla. So if you have this car, you can try to emulate or follow generally why I built the car the way I do to see if it in fact works for you as a good live racer. I understand live racing isn't what it used to be in many ways, but hey, this is still where I make RP when I did play and where I would make RP when I come back. So therefore, knowing these tunes would be helpful to many players, including myself in the long run, to know that we have cars that we can use that are extremely good in live and very competitive. So the Valhalla Concept's strength is that it is a low performance point high evo car. As you can see, I'm in a lobby of 9.8, 9.9 cars for the most part with my Valhalla, and I am actually slowing down to beat them because I don't need to run all out to be competitive. It doesn't mean that I'll beat every car in this lobby. It just means the car itself is set up in a way that is relatively competitive as far as its performance point to evo ratio and the actual lobby that I'm in. I always keep an eye out for the NSXR because it's a benchmark car for me in most lobbies where I could find them. They're highly competitive cars in most live lobbies. However, I would actually say that they're less competitive in the 9 point something lobbies because they're almost fully max, fully elite. You can probably do even better with them in slightly slower lobbies like the 10-second ones, rather than pushing them all the way to the 9-second lobbies. But that being said, they're still great benchmark cars to test tunes against, because generally if you can beat a NSXR, you're in pretty good shape. So I would just want to see where he would be if he pushed it. 9.8 still, I kind of screwed up a little bit, slowing down too much. Let's go ahead and do a re-challenge and see if he'll take it. Okay, sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. He might have left and went back to lobby already. Oh, he took it. All right, so this time I'm going to not slow down as early and try to maintain my lead on the end. After that, we're going to go back and I'll show you the parts and tune that I use for this specific car, for this specific lobby setup. Right, now, need to discuss the shift pattern briefly. With a maxed Valhalla, your shift pattern is a little different than with a slightly less than maxed Valhalla, and that is, you're not going to use nitrous in third, you're actually going to use nitrous in second. You're also going to run your car slightly out as far as first gear, but not all the way out. So it's like 30 some mile per hour second in nitrous, rather than deep second and then third in nitrous. So there is a difference between the fully max shift pattern and this particular one. Okay, so I only did 3 races, but it's enough to show you that the car is in fact competitive, certainly competitive against those T4 NSXRs, which usually are pretty tough opponents in most lobbies. So first thing first, let's take a look at the tune. This car doesn't need a lot of nitrous duration. It doesn't really help. 2.0 final drive, 0-100, very easy tune, right? Where the main thing for this car is in the parts setup, not the tune itself. The tune is going to be based on the parts, but your main concern here is you want to only use the parts that gives you a ton of evo. And the strongest parts to use in this particular setup is in fact the body and transmission and engine. Intake also gives decent increase, whereas turbo does not. Therefore, in order to maximize the evo and minimize the performance point, I left turbo out. I also leveraged stage 6 body because it is one of the stronger stage 6s, so the benefit of the points to the performance is very high, so therefore it's worth keeping. So this is a stage 3 nitrous, stage 6 body, stage 3 tire, stage 4 trans. This is just so I can tune these two. I probably would run even less stages of either if I didn't have to put them in. And then stage 3 nitrous, stage 3 intake. What this does is it puts the car in a lobby where it dynos a lot better than the opponents that it has to run. My actual dyno is a 9.534, which means you can run cars anywhere from 9.3 to 9.8. I mean, 9.3. I'm sorry, 9.5 to 9.8. And I'm seeing a lot more 9.8s than I'm seeing 9.5s. Theoretically, this should be the 9.399 to 9.699 range lobby, maybe 9.7s, but I'm actually one lobby down from where I'm supposed to be, dealing with 9.8, and at one point I was running cars that was running 10.0. So you have what I've always said in my videos, what I call lobby advantage. You also have what I would call a advantage as far as matchmaking, because again, either one, it really works out to be the same thing. You're facing cars that have higher performance point, lower evo, similar dynos, but they're actually dynoing slower than you but matching up to you. So it's a very advantageous position to be in as far as live racing is concerned. So that is my Valhalla Concept setup and tune that I use in live. And also, if you watch my first few races, you can see the shift pattern I use. Again, I advise you always slow down when you're ahead to keep the races close, because this car will never get bumped into a faster lobby. It's not even running anywhere near its dyno to win. And that's what makes it such an effective and deadly live racer. If I were to push the car, I can get as low as a 9.4 something run, but generally speaking, there's no need to push the car that hard. Alright, I hope this video would be helpful to those who owns the Valhalla and actually want to set up something for live. If you upgrade beyond where I have it, it doesn't mean the car is not going to be competitive, but as your performance point ratio goes up versus your Evo, you will slowly be less competitive. You can also do less upgrades even than what I have and still be competitive, but again, unless you're dropping 20, 30, well, maybe at least 10 performance points off without losing more than 200-300 Evo, the ratio is still not as optimal as what I would have here. My goal is always about a 1-to-3 ratio when setting up low performance height Evo cars. Therefore, this times 3 should not exceed whatever's on this side. Alright, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you like the video, leave a like. If you like my channel and would like to see as I put more of these tunes up in the near future, I'm going to end up going through quite a few what I consider to be the top cars in the game and giving away a particular live racing tune for you to try to use. Well, as always, thank you for watching my videos. I'll catch you next time.